So I'm here at Jordanstown, just on the beachfront, and people are enjoying the nice day. It's a beautiful day, and there's a guy out walking his dog, there's someone else flying a kite, a couple of kids building sandcastles, some teenagers down dipping their feet in the water. So it really is a nice chilled out sort of atmosphere down here, which is nice considering it's so close to the city centre that people can come here and get a bit of headspace and relax for a while. Looking straight out in front of me, across the shore here, I can see Harland and Wolff. That's where the Titanic was actually built, and it's something that we in Belfast are very proud of. A lot of people from the Protestant community, more so than the Catholic community, if you speak to them, will have grandfathers who worked on the building of the Titanic, and so that's something to really be proud of.
Well, that is a slight mystery, but we can sort of put two and two together and see what's been happening in our suburban parts of our cities and also our inner cities themselves. And really what house sparrows need, what the parents need, is certain types of vegetation, particularly native woody vegetation, things like hawthorn, brambles, honeysuckle, wild roses. Those sorts of species are covered in insects come the sparrow breeding season, and I think what's happened is quite large areas of this sort of vegetation has just been removed from our gardens and cities.
We're talking about 1% of people who are speeding at these levels, and most motorists are saying, stop them, get them. We don't want to be endangered on the roads. We don't want our families who are vulnerable road users or vulnerable pedestrians to be killed by these lunatics. We're saying we must make sure that the enforcement is right, that the regulations are right, that the penalties are there, and that people who are risking lives are not going to be allowed to continue to do that.
First of all, anybody interfering on the meter runs a risk of electrocution or flash burns if they don't do it correctly. Secondly, some of these interference methods are crude and dangerous because they leave bare wires around, and this is a danger not to themselves but to anybody in the house or visiting the house, maybe including their own children, who might come into contact with this not knowing it's been done. Thirdly, bad tampering can actually lead to fires. We've had instances where fires burn a house down and the seat of it appears to be the meter, and it could very well be that somebody had interfered with it. On the gas side, of course, it's even more dangerous because gas leaks cause explosion, and explosion can take away not only the house that the interference has happened on, but also properties either side.
Myself and my mother were in shopping yesterday in Henry Street, and we're walking along. It was very cold now, and I just happened to look over beside Marks and Spencer's, and there was a child sitting there, and he was about 10 or 11, and he looked absolutely freezing, right? And he was holding onto his ear, and he was crying. The tears were rolling down his face. It was very upsetting looking at him. So I went over to him and I asked him, would he have something to eat? Because you know the way people tell you not to give these children money, you know. So I said, would you like something to eat? And he says, no, someone had got him something to eat. And I said, God, you must be freezing. I said, well, I go into Marks and buy you a jumper. And he said some woman had come over before me and she'd gone down to Penny's to get him a coat. So I was asking him, like, you know, how was he and, you know, what was he doing out there? And I asked him where was his parents. He said his parents were alcoholics, you know. I mean, what you do with a child that's that sick, you know, and he's on the street, and I've no idea what you do with children like that. So if I give you money, I said, you know, does someone come and take your money on you? Because I'd heard that before, you know. And he said, no, I've been trying to get enough money this week to get into a hostel.
My brilliant idea to change the world is to camouflage parked cars. No piece of street furniture is more banal, ubiquitous and grotesquely garish than the common car. Eyesores, car sores. If I paint the front of my house high-gloss purple or day-glow yellow, my neighbours will ostracise me and take me to court. Yet we proudly disfigure our streetscapes by parking cars of any colour, shape or size in full view. For too long have cars cars been allowed to stand naked in our streets like robotic Adam and Eves. Not just fig leaves, but burqas and bodysuits need to be worn by these ugly fetishes. So each time a car is parked, it must be completely veiled in camouflage netting, stored conveniently in the boot, its colour determined by local conditions. The inconvenience of camouflaging will reduce car usage, and the difficulty of covering big cars will make us buy smaller cars.